Hello, hello. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to this live stream, this live podcast. Welcome to Royal Sussex. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. I love saying that. Do you guys practice at home? Do you guys when I'm not around, do you guys practice saying that? Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. You got to try to get very deep and breathy toward the end of that statement. But I love saying it. As a matter of fact, I love you guys. I love being here. Hello, Dolores Williams. Fancy. Stunning Adolphin. Val here. Welcome, Val here. Robin Rogers. Donna Reese. Maxine Briggs. Reba Henderson, Southern Lady, Beverly Jackson, Lucy Wynn. Welcome, Lucy. I love Lucy. Sharon Davis, H. London, V. Thomas. Welcome. Although I get nervous every time I see the name Thomas, not because of you, of course, but you know why. I get that little queasy feeling. Robert Collins, Irene G, Annie Bullard, welcome. Welcome, moderator Lydia Washington. Welcome, Sister and Ceci. Reba Henderson, Fancy, welcome. Fancy, I think, no, actually, Ethan's husband was the first to the live chat today. But anyway, welcome one and all. So how do I put this? Today has been kind of, I guess I will admit I started my day on the Twitter. A lot of good information there. A lot of good information. Helps me do what I'm doing right now, being on the Twitter. And I can see why a lot of people say, well, I was on the Twitter. I don't like it anymore. I had to get off the Twitter. Totally understand that. And I'm so glad you totally understand me, V. Thomas. I'm suffering from PTSD. But again, not in any relations to you. Let's see. But yeah, so okay, I have set up some graphics here. I can see not everything loaded, but let me see what I can cipher up here. Aha, this is it. This is where we're at today. So Richard Eden, who, I know he does some little chat thing on the YouTube, Palace something or other. Not recommending, not condoning that anybody go there for any reason whatsoever, but I do know of it. I'm just, as a rule, I just don't watch it. And because I keep checking that button that says not interested, it no longer comes up on my feed. I genuinely worry that Prince Harry and hashtag Meghan's criticism of unnamed, I'm trying not to say that because, well, anyway, my algorithm thing, not algorithm, but the AI, saying certain words leads to a review. So I'm going to try to avoid saying that, but you can see it clearly there. Royals has increased the danger of attacks on the royal family. Security needs to be stepped up as a result. And when I saw that, I was taken aback by it because I'm just like, why all of a sudden are people worried about the rest of them who seem to have an unlimited amount of taxpayer security from the sovereign grant, whereas the Sussexes have to strike it out on their own. And just to make sure that they can't afford it, you have a hostile tabloid media that's doing everything that they can to try to make them, I think the word is persona non grata. They want to make it so that they're such pariahs that nobody wants to work with them. And I'm in a huff anytime I start using all them big words. Even if I don't use them right, I mean business. But I'm trying to not get upset about looking at this type of stuff, but it is outrageous. It's totally hypocritical because, you know, if I'm right, I believe he works for one of those tabloids, the one that just got their behinds handed to them by the Duchess of Sussex and her legal team. Um, so of course, they are rather, I suppose, I guess a little. I won't say hostile. That's too strong. Yeah, I guess they're just a little hostile toward anything Sussex to the point where they, all of a sudden, one of their people writes something like this on their Twitter. This wasn't by chance. Thank you, Annie Bullard. Thank you. It is still trending. I mean, it's been what, 3, 4 days, and it's still trending like crazy. They always said that the next big war will be fought in space. Well, they were right about that, but the thing is, it's not outer space, it's cyberspace. This is the new battleground. And of course, as some of us are foot soldiers in that battle to get the truth out there, not to cause any harm, but to get the truth out there. Some of us are foot soldiers. Um, Believe me, a year ago, I had no clue that I would have any type of position where I would lend my voice to the cause and people would actually listen outside of my circle of friends and family who weren't necessarily interested in what I had to say. You guys give me the sustenance to do what I need, um, or give me the sustenance that I need to do this work. If it wasn't for your encouragement, if it wasn't for your contributions, if it wasn't for your continued comments, then um, much of what I do would have very little purpose. But because you guys continuously lend your input, then I can do what I need to do. And the rest of the squatties can, of course, do their work on behalf of the Sussexes, on behalf of women of color, who seems to be, the generic target in most instances, and to a lesser extent, men of color, but mostly women of color seem to be the big target. So it's not just about the Sussexes; it's about truth and um, it's about right versus wrong. It's about the ongoing battle to maintain human dignity. So I'm glad to do it, and thank you guys for helping to make this possible each and every day. B10, you say you help shine the spotlight on the Sussex's issue. And I'm glad to do it. I'm so glad to do it. You have well, I guess you probably understand exactly how it is for me, because I'm sure you've been through it too. When you bring up the Sussexes and people give you that far away look like, who? Why do you even care about that? They're rich, aren't they? They can take care of themselves. They're rich, aren't they? Well, yeah, they may have means, but without the interests of people speaking up on their behalf, then they would somehow get reduced to the scrap heap of history, and that would leave them incredibly vulnerable. But it's our voices that actually help to protect them. It's our words and deeds that help to protect them. So instead of like winding down because they're in the safety of that $500 million mansion, according to the tabloids, I think at this point we probably need to speak up louder, because when you have someone in this guy's position working for a powerful news organization saying something like this, is it that that family over there is the ones that's most vulnerable, or does this make the Sussexes more vulnerable? And that's what people are saying, is that this type of rhetoric is somehow making the Sussexes increasingly vulnerable, which is why I just said yesterday, I hope they can make as much money as they could possibly make, just so that they can have the safety that they need, so that they can bring their family up in security. It's not just about comfort, it's really about security. I don't think the Sussexes, for any reason whatsoever, I don't think they care about the lavish things in life. Of course, they like to dress good, look good. They want certain things, but Harry in particular, I'll go right back again to the day he was at a wedding with holes in his shoes. This is a prince of the realm with holes in his shoes. And as for the Duchess of Sussex, yeah, she liked to be girly and dress it up every now and again. But for the most part, give her a fedora, give her some tight denim jeans and some stilettos, and she's happy as a lark. She's not really swayed by that kind of stuff, but she does represent a lot of people, including the Sussex squad. She represents a lot. She has that um, huge burden, which of course comes with the territory. As a woman of color, she literally has to represent people of mixed race. She has to represent Black people. She has to represent the modern liberated woman. So she wears a lot of hats. She wears a lot of hats, and she does it very well. So I want them safe. I want them secure, and I don't care what the cost is. Whenever they come out with something they're promoting, if they have a charity that they're supporting, I do what I can. I do what I can. And so far, I've done about as much as the average squatty. And I'll continue to do that. And of course, I'll continue to do this. So let me take a couple comments here. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Cookies and creams. Um, and this comment, this tweet is what's trending like crazy right now. And it is, I guess, all of us squatties have that kind of latent reaction to something like this, where you see it and you're just like, oh, this doesn't make them necessarily safe, at least by drawing attention to the fact that um, the criticisms of the family, it doesn't make them more safe. If anything, it takes away from their security. It makes them vulnerable, because let's not forget that. Let's not forget this happened. Okay, let's not forget this happened. That happened, right? In 2019, that happened. There's a lot of things that happened along the way that is the reason why some of the squatties feel quite vulnerable, myself included. Up until the point that the Sussexes were safely delivered of Lily Diana, all of us were on the edge of our seats. And I think quite a few of us was watching Tina and Michelle that day. And once we finally got the word that, the baby Sussex were delivered safely, what happened? We were all like relieved, weeping with joy, because we were all so worried that somehow the Sussexes would be in such a vulnerable position that somebody would come after them. Well, fortunately, that didn't happen. Fortunately, I'm going to just, put that on Harry. Harry is still quite the soldier, and he does what it takes to protect his family. So, whatever it takes, I'm for it. Just leave the Sussexes alone. So, excuse me, not only did that happen, but let me see, which other one do I have here? I have a couple of graphics I wanted to share. Okay, okay. So, along with that, oh yeah, okay. And then there's this one. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. I'm clicking on the wrong. There we go. There we go. And that happened, 5 December 2018? Well, let me see. They were still engaged. They weren't married yet, right? So, and I think, yeah, that was in the BBC. So when you see someone saying that because they spoke out about the way they were treated in that family, because they spoke out about the character of whatever unnamed individual in the family, that somehow we're making, or not we, but they are making the rest of the family less safe. I mean, come on. That institution has 1,000-year head start on how to maintain public interest, on how to suppress anybody's, I guess, hostility. So, you know, who should be more afraid? Who should be more concerned? Who should we worry the most about? I think that over there, with those walls surrounding them, everybody over there is pretty safe. And because they have exaggerated this story to the point where you would think that this person had actually scaled over one of those, what, 20, 30-foot walls. No, he did not. He actually, I'll put it to you like this: it's easier to get onto the grounds of the White House than it is to breach that place. Trust me, it is. They have people jump the fence at the White House all the time, and it doesn't seem to lead back to any two individuals. That's why this is so frustrating for me. But and of course, it happened to the Sussexes. It happened to them. So you know, uh, pick or choose. Um, let's see, where is that at? Right here. There, there. What do you think of that? That happened. It happened twice. It happened twice, and believe me, they don't have the resources that the rest of the family has. They don't have those resources, but yet that happened twice, and they have to sort it out for themselves. They have to sort it out among the community that they live in. They have to sort it out with someone like Orlando Bloom calling and saying, "Hey, there's a truck outside your house. Just want you to know that." That's how they have to deal with it. They don't have the resources that the rest of the family has. So, not to mention, who's actually interested in the other people from over at Narnia? Who really cares what they do? So, come on. You know, Uh, I'm a bit frustrated today, but I'm not um I'm not as bad as I could be right now. But I'm just, what are your thoughts? Let me take a look at some comments here. Um, who do they blame for the guy that got into the queen's bedroom? Yeah, that happened. As a matter of fact, he broke into the house twice. He managed to get in there twice. Uh, oh, you're quite welcome, Asetta. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Helene. Welcome. Let's see here. There are people like this in the U.S., as you well know. Yeah, people hop the fence. And I'm going to just say this without knowing all the facts. There has been people that were wounded outside of the White House, people who obviously were suffering from mental health problems which obviously, without knowing all the facts, this young man who tried to enter the Windsor Castle obviously was about one tree short of a hammock. He was about one sandwich short of a picnic. Okay. He was about, he wasn't altogether there, obviously. So, his elevator wasn't going all the way up to the top floor. He was a warped puck on the hockey game of life. And so, against all odds, he said that he was determined to do something that wasn't likely to ever happen. Yeah, one sheep less of less in the paddock. Thank you, Asetta. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, he somebody done blew his pilot light out, and he just wasn't altogether there. And so how in the world does that lead to the people that are trying to live their life in peace and security in Montecito? How do we get there? How do we get there? How does it graduate to Montecito? So, I'm not buying it. And it seems like that tweet was supposed to drum up some type of sentiment that has no place in the conversation. But, nothing like trying just to, it's like, let's throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And that's the whole point of it. I can't believe I don't even know this person. Like I say, I know he's on some show or something like that on YouTube for or social media for talking about the royal family. I don't think it's Royal Road or some other show, Palace Intrigue or whatever it's called. And so he just decided, well, okay, I'll just put it out there and see what happens. Now, whether he was directed to do that by someone or not, I don't know, but it happened. And so, they want to try in some kind of way to make it about the Sussexes, which of course it is not. Um, it's offensive as far as I'm concerned. It's like a slap in the face toward the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and everything that they stand for. Harry certainly does not. And I'll say this again: we should never be more angry at that family. Um, I mean, I think it's okay to be angry with the institution, but we should never have any more hostility toward that family than the Sussexes have. And that is still Harry's family. He still loves his grandmother. And because that's his family and because I have respect for him, I will definitely refrain from, saying certain things. Now, will I make fun of them? For sure. That's a given. Like if I ask this question, why is it in almost every photo, it seems like William is leaning away from his darling wife? If I say something like that, but why does it seem like he's on a roller coaster where he's leaning into the turn? Like he's in a high performance car, leaning into the gravity, to the G forces. I mean, there's why does it seem like that happens in every photo? Now, if I say something like that, I don't think I'm being particularly cruel, and certainly not to the point where I'm causing any safety issues for anybody. If anybody, the only person that's making things unsafe for him is himself. Because if he keeps leaning like that, you know what's going to happen. He's going to fall on the floor. But every photo, it seems like he's like, get up off me, girl, leaning away from her. She leans in, he goes the other way. So, saying that, that's typical me. But in no way, in no way do I think I'm causing any kind of security concerns for them. I'm just, being me. But they tend to lean away from each other and glare at each other. Now, that I don't see that that's, in any way compares to some of the stuff that that the other people that the so-called journalists are saying. That includes the liars. Let's not forget them. And this is just a couple of them. There's quite a few of them, but that includes them. So, and then let's not forget this huge institution that seems to have an end for them. And nothing is too outrageous for them to say. Lord Nappyhead's institution. Nothing is too outrageous. They say whatever they want to say, and it's okay. And then we find out that some of these reporters from all of the tabloids seems to have a dialogue with some of the people who have said things that could, lead to trouble for the Sussexes. So, it is pick or choose your poison, but I think that they are much better off than the Sussexes because that family has like the whole security apparatus of Greater London at their beck and call. The Sussexes only have each other and a small security detail. So it's sickening to see someone say something like this because why do I keep bringing that up? I already spoke about that where I'm looking for that. Yeah, this picklehead. It's sickening to see someone say something so outrageous. I genuinely worry that Prince Harry and Meghan's criticism of unnamed racist royal has increased the danger of attacks on the royal family. Security needs to be stepped up as a result. Uh-huh. I think they got all the security that they could possibly want. If anything, they are the ones, and I do mean the Mormon Tabernacle Choir and such, that's making things very difficult for the Sussexes, especially that really shifty looking one in the back. Not the one by the door. He ain't even supposed to be there. I'm talking about that one in the middle behind William. Um, that whole entire group of people. Uh, I could just imagine the eye rolls and the conversation that has happened in the halls of Kensington Palace in regard to the Sussexes, who, by the way, are still winning. But yeah, so back to your comments. Okay, what do we have here? Just read that the piano recital was an olive branch to Meghan and Harry. Please share where you got that from because with given the music, okay, given the some for to the ones that aren't here, and the fact that she wore red, okay, I could see that. Or it may have been a one-upmanship, seeing that I don't know. I'm going to be open-minded, Joan. I'm not going to condemn the idea that it could have been an olive branch. Um, it's just unfortunate that the Sussexes were put in that position, placed in that position that they're in right now. And one of the reasons why they're there is because of that the Cambridges. Because at any given point, they could have opened their mouths, they could have spoken up and said what was needed to be said to help protect them with the truth instead of letting them be condemned by one lie after the other. They could have said something. I mean, it was bad enough that they were condemned to the servants' quarters. They were sent to a residence where the hired help lives. The Sussexes at no point received one of those large homes like the rest of the people in the family. They didn't get the grace and favor like the rest of them. They were gifted something that ended up costing them so much pain and humiliation, as well as $3 million. Is that what Harry paid? $2.73 million that he paid back to the sovereign grant that he shouldn't have paid in the first place. Meanwhile, the Cambridges have a driveway that costs what, $2 million? In their other home, they got a private helicopter. They got all kind of bells and whistles. And these are the two that don't even want to work. They don't even want to work. If they could do anything besides working, everybody knows that they would rather do nothing. And they don't even go to Christmas with the Queen every year. They divide their time over in Huckleberry, Buckleberry, Middlebrook, whatever town that is that the air hostess and her husband lives in. Um, they'd rather be there. Sorry, Baron, I got off to get off the topic. I missed the podcast where the truth of making Kate cry lie was discussed. Seems Kate got away with from public standing up for Meghan to say it was a lie. I want that. Yeah, if you really want some reconciliation, tell the truth. Tell the truth. And obviously, they have so much influence with the tabloids that when the truth well, actually not the truth, but when the allegations were out there about Willie's extracurricular activity, somehow they managed to suppress that via their lawyers. And then, of course, I mean, I'm just saying that to say that they do have some type of persuasive powers with the media that they could use or could have used to help the Duchess of Sussex. But instead, they decided it was best to just, you know, leave her twisted in the wind, withering on the vine. So I tell you, I try not to make it too personal and get angry about it because that's Harry's family. But that family is really, wow, 700 people. That family is really a piece of work. Um, and uh, whether or not the Queen has any authority over anything, it's hard to say. I kind of feel like they conned her out of that helicopter. I didn't know that the Cambridges were gifted a helicopter until last week. And if that is the truth, I can't help but think they conned her out of it. I think that the Queen is in a very frail state, which won't stop me from making fun of her. But I think she's in a bit of a frail state and that people are taking advantage of her. My little jokes do not compare to what she probably has been going through with, especially her middle son. That doesn't even compare. So good luck to them all. Baron, this is just another ploy to get attention. Meghan was in danger. She ran for her life. Even if the Queen wanted help to help, the opposition had consensus in the middle is a ton of yes, it is. Yes, it is. Um, I and Prince Charles, that weak individual, just weak individual. Prince Charles doesn't seem to exercise any type of authority over that family, except for stripping his youngest brother of that Duke of Edinburgh title. Other than that, what does he ever do? What does he ever do? If his position as king will probably be very much like what the Queen is right now, just um, people playing one side against the other and him stuck in the middle. That's the future I see for him. He doesn't seem to ever stand up to his son. Oh, good grief. Let me get this house off of here. Okay. Um, where's the other thing I wanted to? Okay, we talked about that last time. The fact that Lord Nappyhead doesn't pay any taxes, right? Now, apparently, he inherited this title, right? Nothing unusual about that. But the person, now, again, I don't know how authentic this is because there's all kind of stuff on the internet, in particular on the Twitter. But this was featured today. I want to say it looks kind of authentic. I want to say it looks too good to be true. I don't know which is which. However, I do know that Lord Nappyhead's ancestors seem to have a fascination or association with said individual in photo. So, um, if that's the background, kind of like with Princess Michael of Kent, it seems like some of those things that they're holding inside that has been obviously used against the Sussexes goes back generations. I'll just say those things. You probably know what I'm talking about, but yeah, those ancient hostilities and such. So, um, that's where Lord Nappyhead comes from. That's the Daily Mail in that figure's hand. So you tell me what that's about. Like I say, if it is authentic. But there are other photos, but this is the one that really jumped out at me today. But there seem to be other photos, and I just thought I would share this one. Again, I don't know how genuine or authentic it is, but I do know that there is some type of association there. And modern day groups like that, who really of course, are not anything like the other ones. But those modern day groups seem to have had an end for the Sussexes for quite some time. So when people, I'm sorry, not people, I shouldn't even associate them with people. When those tabloid reporters, um, again, not to confuse them with human beings, but when those tabloid reporters say that Harry always looks so unhappy, Harry looks so sad since he's been with Meghan, how would you like finding your first and only true love life partner, the one, and everything that you believed in, everything that you had known in your entire life seemed to have an end for her for no reason? Harry, like a lot of people in his position, when you marry a person of color, when you marry a so called minority, people change. And for whatever reason, people that Harry had known most of his life, suddenly, when she walked in the room or her name came up, everything changed. Everything changed. She became that woman. Everything changed. And he sensed that. He saw it firsthand. And I'm pretty sure he had gone a lifetime not realizing that anything like that were possible. But it was. For whatever reason, he noticed that the body language changed, their voice changed. Everything was different because somebody mentioned that woman. And so when the thing with the skin color came up, I am more than certain that the person who said that was someone close enough to Harry, somebody who could really rattle his cage, someone who has an authority complex, someone who has an authority complex, someone who felt as they had felt their entire life like they should tell Harry when, what, where to do whatever he wanted to do. And that's why Harry was so jarred by it. That's why he was so shaken. That's why he was so upset. That's why it became a real thing, because it was somebody who obviously was in a position to make life difficult for him. Had the Sussexes stayed, could you imagine? Could you just imagine how things would have turned out? Fortunately, they escaped from Narnia and they're living in Southern California. But had they stayed, that person right there would control so much of their lives and even possibly have custody of their children, have be the legal guardian of their children. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine? Bye, Narnia. So, back to your comments. It doesn't matter whether they were still living or on the moon. They would still be attacked regardless. Okay. And what else? 3 kids and a wife and still filled with rage. Yeah, how about that? I do believe that Chelsea is still hoping Prince Harry gets a divorce because she cried when he told her he was getting married and they had been broken up for years. Well, maybe Chelsea was just crying because she was happy for him. Chelsea probably was thinking, I couldn't be the one, but I'm glad you're happy. I'm sure it was tears of joy for him. Chelsea was smart enough to know, having been around long enough, she didn't go into it naive, thinking that if I work hard, people would eventually come around. The Duchess of Sussex has been hard working her whole life. And as a team player, she's managed to make her way in life. There was no way she could have known that that family would be the ones plotting against her, allegedly, with the tabloid media. She couldn't have known that. Who would have ever thought that someone in that family, remember, the calls are coming from inside the house. Who would have ever thought that was possible? I mean, even I didn't see that coming, and I've had an interest in, that family, everything. I consider myself a true Anglophile. I had all kind of interests in everything. I've watched so many documentaries, read so many things, and um, I've been to the Downton Abbeys and the Castle Howards and all kind of places. I mean, just a true Anglophile. But I could have never known that we would be in this position right now. That's shocking to me. So this is something else that picklehead um, put on his Twitter. I started looking into his Twitter, not knowing anything about him. I decided to do a little digging. Let's see, is it normal for a Christmas card not to be mentioned? I mean, not to mention Christmas in the USA. Well, compare the Sussex Christmas card to the one that the Cambridges put out. Their Cambridge Christmas card looked nothing like a real Christmas card. This were a family on vacation, allegedly in Morocco. I didn't see anything so Christmas about the theme of their card. The Sussex Christmas card says Happy Holidays. So, what he's really saying here is that by saying Happy Holidays, they're being too woke. They're being too Hollywood. They're being too nervous about mentioning Christmas. This is what he's trying to say here. I'm not even going to say allegedly. I know that's what it is. This is an attack on Meghan's Hollywood roots by saying, instead of saying Christmas, it doesn't say Christmas. It just says Happy Holidays. So what? So what? So it does. Big deal. The Cambridge Christmas card, as I said, I'm not even going to put a picture of it up there. You've all seen it. It looks nothing like Christmas. It looks like a Moroccan vacation. Not exactly going to Bethlehem, is it? So that's not exactly a round trip to Bethlehem. So what are we trying to say? That was an insult. And so I had to get off of his Twitter page because the further I looked, let me show you something else he had on his Twitter. You see this? Kate, a singing star. Wouldn't it be lovely? So apparently, somebody had this weird idea that the world is prepared to hear Duchess Doolittle sing. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'll pay good money to see that. I would pay good money to hear the Phantom of Westminster Abbey singing. I mean, if it's anything like the way she talks, count me in. I want to see that. I want in on that one. If it's anything like the way she speaks, then I want to hear her sing. And I'm being sarcastic, of course. That poor thing has been suppressed to the point of almost no personality. I'm sure at one time she was a lot of fun, but whatever she is right now, Stepford wife, fembot, whatever she is, barely resembles a person anymore. But that's the price that she paid to be a part of that family. And, I'm not saying that she was coerced into anything that she didn't want to do, but, and maybe there is an artist hiding inside of her, and that's why she's always doing that jazz hand because she wants to be prepared for that moment when somebody says, "Is there a piano player in the house?" And of course she this is what we're supposed to believe happened on Christmas. That somebody said, "Is there a piano player in the house?" And she just jumped out of her seat and ran to the piano with all the authority of George S. Gershwin and sat down and started banging out a tune. That did not happen. It didn't happen. It was pre-recorded. Now, if that was an olive branch to the Sussexes, they're going to have to be a little more creative because I don't see it. It was an insult to the senses, but as for an olive branch, I don't see it. I mean, do you all see it? I don't see it. I mean, I could believe that it's possible. I just don't see it. I'm going to be open minded. Again, I don't hate anybody. I'm going to be very open minded, and I'm going to believe that Georgina S. Gershwin sat down at that piano wearing red as an olive branch. And for that matter, and remember, I was the first to say maybe the Queen was trying to reach out to the Duchess of Sussex. She was wearing red. So maybe, just maybe. But please, again, if this is an olive branch, or if it's just jazz hands, try to be a little more obvious because it's difficult to see it. It's really difficult to see. Yeah, that looks like somebody reaching out, and that looks like somebody leaning away. Somebody's always leaning away. Um, oh boy. But anyway, I'm not gonna get in their business because that's on them. But this is Ash Shakur. I love her. She's been on quite a few talk shows, and she's usually on what is that? Whatever that podcast is. But yeah, she's headed in with that big hog head. What's that man's name with that big hog head? Pig Morgan. She's gotten into it with him a couple of times. So I like her, and she's very smart. And then there you have it, Oprah. Get Kate on the blower. Her eyes tell me she's got some stuff to say. Now, if that's not the look of love, I don't know what is. The fact that he's edging away from her, pay no attention to that. That's none of our business. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Phantom of Westminster Abbey. And I'll go back to your comments. Okay. The way Mumbles is giving all the credit. Yeah, they're giving her all the credit. You'd think she performed as a solo musician rather than an accompanying artist. And didn't they say it was a solo? How many times did I read the past few days that they said that she did a solo? And the guy that was with her, somebody on Twitter said it looked like they went and found a panhandler. Well, okay, something did come out of this. They say that the sales of his whatever digital music uploads have gone up. So something did come out of it. I got a good laugh, and he sold more music. So Baron, someone is dwindling away in our eyes. You notice purpose complete, and the dowry needs to be paid. The dowry needs to be paid. Well, see, I told you I have a theory about that. Now, this lady right here, she spent a lot of money, allegedly, getting jazz hands into that family. But she's going to make the money on the other end because pretty soon the Windsor Castle is going to have a new name, in the next 20 years at the most. They're going to start calling it the Middleton Castle because that family, I mean, just think about it. The event where Kate played the piano, what was it called? Music Carol, something Carol, Royal Carol, Royal Carol. Now, calling it Royal Carol, that's subliminal. That's subliminal. You do understand what's going on there. Royal Carol, Royal Carol. That's subliminal. That is their way of making sure that we got our minds ready to look at her as though, I keep telling you all, they're going to start calling her the Queen Mother. Don't ask me how I know that. I know it's not logical, but this, at some point, one of those people in the tabloid are going to say, oh, she's just like a Queen Mother. And then next thing you know, they're going to hope that the name sticks. It's just a theory of mine, you know. Um, we'll see what happens, but I think that somebody is going to start beating that drum in the press, and next thing you know, Royal Carol is going to be a future Queen Mother. Not a queen, but they'll just, maybe Queen Mom. They'll find some kind of way. Um, I don't know. She has William at her house, sampling James Middleton's monogram marshmallows. So she's got William at her house. Um, this is a very persistent individual. And by royal patent, there's going to be a lot of things that y'all ain't going to see coming. I'm just telling you. Y'all ain't going to see it coming because y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about. But this is a very persistent individual, and she get what she wants. Everything goes her way. I mean, anytime you could pass this off, anytime you could pass this off as the most accomplished critical thinker of our time, Dr. Joyce S. Middleton, or Dr. Joyce, let me see, what was it? Dr. Joyce Brothers, Dr. Joyce Jazz Hands. Anytime you could pass this person off as being the savior of the royal family, anything is possible. Remember, this is a person that took 10 years to come up with 5 questions. And then she took those questions to a classroom. And instead of asking a question, she just told them, something wrong with your brain, and I'm here to explain it to you. They sent her to a classroom to interact with children so the children could go home and say, well, how was it today? Did you meet the Duchess of Cambridge? Yeah. How did it go? She said it was something wrong with our brains. She said that there was something wrong with their brains, and she gonna help them develop their brains, as though somebody actually helped her. Now, considering this photo right here, I have a theory about why. Okay, I'm gonna stop because I don't want to get in trouble. But I have a theory why that other one is the way she is. It's because of the one that's right there. So you know something is wrong with her. You know it's something wrong with her. She got that weird tick where she can't stop grinning and grinning and grinning. Okay, something wrong with her. She ain't right. But you let her tell it. It's the other kids that got a problem. You let her tell it. It's the kids that got a problem, not her. She's okay, and she is the perfect person because she's a child psychologist now. She plays the piano. She's a child psychologist, and among other things, I mean, she does it all. And then on top of that, somebody has the nerves to say, "I can't wait to hear her sing." Really? So, I'm just glad she's over there. And when they come to visit here, um, let them have their moment and then we'll just move on. Believe me, it won't be much to it. I just hope that at some point that the media will wise up and actually start scrutinizing these people because there's a story there and we all know that there's a story there, but that story is being suppressed because apparently these people that are so afraid that they're going to be attacked, or people are afraid they're going to be attacked because they keep asking about a baby's skin color. These people are so fragile and so vulnerable that they're afraid of what everybody has been saying, but they're the ones in the position of power. They're the ones who could suppress the news about anything except for when it comes to helping the Duchess of Sussex. So at this time, as usual, I'm well past the time, but let's give love, praise, honor, and respect to our two queens. Not that wannabe Duchess Doolittle, but our two queens. And of course, that would be Queen Doria. Doria, who has helped make so many things possible in the lives of the Sussexes. And if there's anything that helps me sleep at night, if there's anything that makes me feel better, is the fact that I know that the Duke of Sussex, as well as the Duchess of Sussex for her whole life, has someone who is loving, caring, very courageous, someone who definitely has their backs, somebody who can make a prince of the realm some collard greens whenever he wants it. I'm glad that she's there in his life. I'm glad that she's always been there in the Duchess's life. And of course, the grandchildren, those beautiful grandchildren, they only have one grandmother. They only have one, but thank goodness that it's Doria. And then, of course, our other queen, who couldn't be here, can't be here right now, is not here right now, but she also made Harry's escape from Narnia possible by instilling him with a certain amount of independence that otherwise he wouldn't have received from that family. But those seeds that she planted so many years ago are growing, not in the shade, but in the sunlight, the California sun. So thank you to Princess Diana, the Queen of Hearts, for making all of that possible. So we never should forget that they're the ones that made so much of this possible. And back to your comments. I think I covered everything. Yeah, so let me go back to your comments. Please share. Yes, Doria is there. Ride or die. Ride or die. I could take a hint. Let me see. Where is it? Ride or die. You have picked the wrong chicks to mess with. Is this the most adorable photo you've ever seen? Adorable. So let's see. I think at one time there was 840 of us, something like that. I think this is like the biggest live stream I've ever had. I just wish I was actually talking about something. That's my self-deprecating humor. But I would talk, but I'm not sure. If Barron wants to talk, I'm not sure that he can, because it really depends on if Meghan will allow it. And sometimes you never know what Meghan will allow, but if it's he'll probably have to ask Meghan, because she's used to having her way. And oh, troll, go away. Ugh, go away. Even when she's not there, I can still hear. Even when she's not there. I tell you though, one nice thing about her is that she never forgets to cover. Well, this time she did, but she usually tries to cover her neck. She does the B. Arthur and wear the little ascot or whatever you call it. But thank you for that. That's the only thing she gets right. Other than that, big liar. Okay. Not to be confused with this obsessed individual. Obsessed. Haven't heard much from her lately. And I haven't seen any of those morning shows in ages. So the truth is, Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get these faces off of here. Um, let's see. Let me find someone pleasant. There we are. Or how about the whole family? There we go. Okay. Keep telling people that as a Brit, I'm sorry. I keep telling people that as a Brit, I know a lot of it is anti-American. I'm always surprised at U.S. support for is that the Cambridges? Um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of it has that anti-American component. Um, and when you're dealing with nationalists, you never know how much of it is race based, culturally based, or if it's just plain nationalism, um, the fear of others. So that's a thing that we should all remember is that not all of it is purely based on race alone. Some of it has to do with the fact that she's a woman with a voice. I mean, the Duchess of Sussex has a voice, and some people do not like women to have a voice. They don't expect a woman to ever speak up or speak out, especially on behalf of other women. If anybody would have ever told me that I would see somebody, even as someone as strong, someone as strong a character as Hillary Rodham Clinton, if anybody would have ever told me that HRC would have been publicly abused like that. I mean, she's blonde for God's sakes, and she was publicly humiliated and abused. Her character called into question. Um, and I mean, I'm not even going to repeat some of the stuff that was said, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked, and that the media seemed to be complicit with these attacks. And how were they complicit? By broadcasting these attacks day after day after day. And all of these educated, well informed journalists from the various networks, of course, one network, we don't expect them to speak against that, but it seems like they condoned it with their silence. They condoned that type of behavior through their silence. I never thought I would see that. It seems to be like a national pastime, not just in the United States, not just in the United Kingdom, but all over the world. It seems to be a national pastime to humiliate women. And if you want extra points, then humiliate a woman of color. And then you'll really get extra credit for that. That's how I see the world. If you think I've got anything wrong, explain it to me because I think I'm right on the target with that one. Okay. Meghan's just inadvertently stole the show, the limelight, or whatever, and William and Kate couldn't take it. True, true, and true. I believe the Queen saw Meghan's potential, hence the train trip. Yes, Sharon Davis, I agree with you. I agree with you. The Queen saw great potential um, to help the family, to save the Commonwealth, among other things. But jealousy, that Oceania tour and the jealousy is what caused the meltdown, which caused the vicious attacks. It was just like throwing kerosene on a fire. That is exactly how it happened. So you're absolutely right about that. Okay. The melanin just love our colors, smart, talented, artistic rap. And yes, yes, that's some people, not all, but some people definitely feel that way. Some people want to celebrate diversity, and then other people want to suppress it. It's amazing too that when you look at some of the old episodes of All in the Family, Maud, Good Times, some of those shows where they did the yin and yang of different topics, you have some people who want to celebrate and embrace diversity. And I'm proud to have people from other backgrounds, people whose parents may have been born in another country. I'd be glad for any of them to represent the United States, but do it fairly. Get there fairly. Don't put our democracy on the brink of extinction just so that you can feed your ego. So, you have to be, I guess, very selective about how we look at these things because not everything is about race, and not everybody, their hostility may not be based in race, but their actions may be subliminally racist. So that's always something to consider. Everyone came for her. Then she said, I don't have proof of Jesus, but I believe in him. Her way to justify printing a story she could not prove true. Okay. The firm decided to pump the brakes on Meghan because she was taking the limelight away from the chosen ones. Yes, and don't forget to wear that crown. You obviously have been ordained by God. Um, if you're born first, that's all the ordination that you need to wear the crown if you're in that family. Doesn't matter what temperament, doesn't mind. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. Clearly, that's not a prerequisite to be queen, intelligence test, or queen for that matter. Because look at the future queen. Where is she? I'm trying to find her. Intelligence is obviously not important to be queen or queen consort, if you will. I mean, look at her. Does that look like somebody who could get through a crossword puzzle? I'm just being mean. Okay, let me stop. oh, the Stepford wife. But she had a personality. Poor thing, she had a personality, but they took it away from her. They took it away from her. In order to be with him, she had to be reprogrammed. They had to delete all her files, like vomiting in the back of a taxi or wearing a see-through dress. They had to delete all that stuff. You've seen the photos. I'm not going to find them, but you've seen the photos. She used to have fun. She used to have fun. And don't think she's not smart. I mean, she has worked in a clothing store for 3 months. So don't say that she's lazy because she worked in a clothing store for 3 months. That's a hardworking individual, that Kate Middleton. She knows the value of hard work. Anybody who can work in a clothing store for 3 months, anybody who could work in a clothing store for 3 months and get a vanity degree in art definitely deserves to be the future queen. That's all I'll say. You guys don't see it, but I see it. I see exactly what's going on. Rosa, she worked on a yacht? Really? Whose yacht was it? I know she worked in a clothing store, but I didn't know she worked on a yacht. Um, okay. Well, thank you for the information. It seems like the Sussexes are far beyond more popular and like than the Lambridges. That's why they work so hard to ruin Meghan's life, and more people who didn't pay attention before are noticing. Yes, they are. And excuse me, while we can't really trust the American media to actually take up the cause, that's why we're here. We can't trust the American media to take up the cause. Eventually, there is going to be some dissension in the ranks, and somebody is going to finally, someone in a position of power and authority. I mean, we came really close with the Oprah interview, right? That was close, but not close enough for my taste. I would like for some of these things to be fully exposed, to finally find them aired in the light of day so people can know exactly what's been going on with the way they treated the Duchess of Sussex. And for that matter, um, this formula that they have for raising children, obviously, it is bordering on some really dark things that I'm not even going to get into. But the Cambridges, I think they had. Oh, let me get that face off the screen. Let me get her off of there. I'm sorry, you guys. Um, I think the Cambridges originally had some good intentions where the children were concerned, but because of their dwindling popularity, they have decided to lean on the children so that they can become more popular. They're actually using the children and the idea of the family unit to perpetuate this idea that they're actually very close, that they are inseparable. When the truth is, if you lean far enough, if you lean far enough, you just might get away from it. But doesn't his eyes say, "Don't touch me. Please don't touch me." But yeah, if you lean far enough, you may just manage to escape, you know, run through the rose garden, something, but you can get out of there if you want to. So, yes, I am. I am messy. But I don't even remember how I got there. Let me look at some more comments. Let's see. Nope. This is what I was looking for. Reba Henderson says, I think when the Queen took Meghan on a tour 1 week after the wedding, kind of upset the other royals, and they turned up the lies and jealousy. Yep, absolutely true. Absolutely true. There was a lot of firsts with the Duchess of Sussex. I will admit that. There was a lot of firsts, and there were some perks early on, but only because Harry waited so long to get married, and it was obvious that he was in love. She was in love with him. And in order to help get the Sussexes in a position to deal with the Commonwealth, they needed to get her up to speed. And because she was so hardworking, and because she was one of the more intelligent members of the family at that point, they thought she was fit for purpose, and decided that she needed to, get to work as soon as possible. And inadvertently, that just kind of made other people jealous. Nathan, what's going on? Welcome to the live chat. You guys, this is the only person that I've ever shared the microphone with. You may remember Nathan interviewed me some time ago, and he has decided to join us for the live chat. And of course, he says, "What up?" As you can see, Nathan, as you know, adopted that beautiful little puppy, whose name he's going to say because I always forget. But anyway, welcome to the chat. Happy holidays, and also Happy New Year whenever New Year's gets here. And don't forget, we are going to be here New Year's. I did mention that the other day that I am going to start my New Year's chat at 11:30 Eastern time, and it will continue until 12:30 Central time. I don't know how long that is. Is that 2 hours? But it's going to start at 11:30 Eastern, which is 10:30 for me, and end at 12. Yeah, that's 2 hours. And end at 12:30 Central time. So if you guys are up, if you're not doing anything, if you're not going out, do come to the Royal Sussex and let's chat about it. Let's get messy if you choose. Because, there's a lot of people out there that make me sick. Do you hear me? Sick! So if you want to talk about people that make me sick, then just show up on New Year's Eve. Okay, more comments. Let me see. It was Meghan's hateful half sister who started that. She is back on the internet commenting on 4 years post. Really? I haven't heard much from her lately. I thought she had outlived her usefulness, not youthful. She's anything but youthful. But yeah, I thought she had outlived her usefulness. But yeah, that grifter. I know nothing about William and Kate's kids. I don't think they will go anywhere when they get older based on who their parents are. I could see one or more of them turning into a Margaret. That's not good. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say now just looking at them, but you never know who's going to grow up and become a big drinker and smoker. But if there's any family that can cause you to abuse cigarettes and liquor, believe me, it's the Windsor way of rearing a child. It's detrimental. Poor Margaret, I insist that that poor woman drank and smoked herself to death, being the spare, and then all of a sudden, she was a big nothing in that family, and that's the future that they had for Harry. But thank goodness he got away from that. Okay. Yes, Lauren, I am sick of it. Do you hear me? Sick! I'm just sick of it. Sometimes that burns when I do that. The Queen took Meghan on that trip with her because she wanted to see accepting of Meghan. Meanwhile, she was complicit in helping to destroy Meghan behind the scenes. Well, cookies and cream, again, I, of course, I look at the Queen as being this frail old lady, and I hate to believe that, but if not speaking up is complicity or complicit, then that's exactly what it is. I mean, it just is what it is. And so, you know, um, she is the sovereign, and she does have a voice. We heard it for Christmas. Hello, Baron. Josephine Baker said there is only one race that's the human race. Luckily, Meghan is very smart to focus on that matter. I agree. I agree with Josephine Baker. It is only one race. Unfortunately, people have fractured into these groups, and that's where all the trouble comes from. I heard the woman William is truly wanted was American, but she dumped him and was triggered by Harry getting to marry a woman. Oh, well, if you're asking me to find that photo again where William is looking at the Duchess of Sussex like a pork chop smothered in gravy, where is that at? It's hard to tell what William wants. I mean, but if the company he keeps is any indication about what he wants, then we may all get it wrong. I mean, I have my suspicions, but I don't want to say it right now, not in this forum, but I have my suspicions. I think what William wants might surprise you, um, but may not surprise everybody, though. Oh, Lydia, you want to get messy today, huh? I think I'm kind of being a little light of the touch today when it comes to messiness. I think I've been more controversial than I am today. Let me see. Meghan's estranged family members are riding her coattails for relevance, money, and notoriety. Yeah, mostly that second one, Joseph. Mostly for the money. I think they would be just as comfortable to remain obscure as long as the checks were coming. But every time they do a talk show or a news program or whatever, cha-ching, cha-ching. And just think there's a lot of people out there that are crazy enough to believe that they're so righteous and so determined to find the truth wherever it may be that they just show up on Australian television, that they just show up on a British podcast, they just show up on American TV. When the truth is, there's usually money involved. So let me see. Okay. Harry's face. Yeah, let me get this disturbing photo out of here. Um, Let me see. I'll find something pleasant. That's not it. There we go. Okay, more comments, more comments. Willie was looking at Meghan like a four-course prime rib dinner. Yeah, yeah, he was. Yeah, who knows exactly what caused the big falling out, but I'm sure it was more than one thing. I'm sure it was plenty things that happened at the Kensington Palace that led to the big breakdown. But you have to remember, Kensington Palace, that is Prince William's kingdom. Prince William doesn't have much control over things as it is because, of course, Prince Charles is doing a lot of work on behalf of the Queen. But where Prince William resides, the Amber Hall and the Kensington Palace, that's his kingdom. And he's the highest ranking royal in that circle above, the older people in the family. So essentially, Kensington Palace, that is William's kingdom. And William has plenty control there. And so I'm pretty sure that because of the falling out, whatever happened, or, like phone calls coming from inside the house, I'm pretty sure that's why there was such a big fracture because, everybody was dancing to Williams' music in Kensington Palace and probably continue to do that. So it's no wonder that they had to leave. 864? Are you kidding me? Welcome to the chat, everybody. This is the biggest chat I've ever had on the live. The biggest. Thank you all for being here. And thank you so much, moderators, for keeping Royal Sussex safe from the trolls. Have we had any trolls today? I haven't seen any. But yeah, thank you guys for that. And thank you for everyone who has commented or contributed to make this channel possible. Okay, and more comments. Okay, let me see here. I don't believe the Queen is in charge. The firm is in charge. Yeah, that's what Harry said, isn't it? I don't think Elizabeth is a dumb woman, yet she lives in a fishbowl and she has no hands on dealing with money, transactions, etc. It is a fishbowl. It is a fishbowl. And there's a lot of people who owe their power and prestige to the royal family. And of course, to their to whichever individual in the family that they're serving or whatever. That is their bread and butter. They have their business cards. It gets them out of a lot of problems. It becomes a family business because just like with any big institution, when you have one person working for the royal household, it's a family business for the entire household that they come from. Believe me, it is. Let's see. It looks like Harry noticed he is checking her out. Look at how he is licking his lips. Look close. Hey, Yvonne Clark, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. And as usual, thank you for your comments. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Helene, if they are if they are ever struck by a heat wave, they can always invite Carol to cool things off. Are you calling Mother Middleton frigid? Are you calling her frigid? I mean, that icy glare. Yeah, I can see what you mean. It seems like when she comes around, the temperature drops. All of a sudden, there's frost on everything. There's vapors of cold air freezing out of your mouth. I can see that. And let's not forget, Carol Middleton at one time was fodder, if you will, for the tabloids because of the way they allegedly mistreated staff over in Bucklebridge or Huckleberry. What's the name of that town they come from? Is it Mayberry? Buckleberry? Buckle Ridge? Wherever it is, they said that there were a lot of people who were mistreated by the Middleton family. Now, that's all according to the tabloid news. I don't know any of that alleged behavior firsthand, but looking at them eyes, I can believe it. Let's see. Carol looks like she has a pound of makeup on her. Yeah, she's wearing the pancake. Yeah, she's definitely wearing some pancake batter. Let's see. And in front of people to play the piano. And she was taught piano from when she was small and played beautifully with no practice. Yeah, what Princess Diana played in that video, that was just on the fly. But that's in total difference to that the Phantom of Westminster Abbey, who spent 3 or 4 feverish days with one cut after the other. I mean, this heavily redacted, edited film that they try to pass off as a spontaneous performance was anything but. This was days and days of working very hard to try to upstage the Sussexes for their beautiful Christmas photo. Now, if you ask the Rangers, they'll say that she was like another Chopin or Mozart or something like that. When the truth is, it sounded a lot like something from, I guess, the Charlie Brown cartoons. Some of the comments that I've seen on the what do you call it? On the Twitter, some of the comments that I've seen was just breathtaking. I'm not going to share them, but if you think I'm saying something, you ought to listen to some of those other people. It was some really choppy playing. It seemed like she was playing with some boxing gloves on her hands. It seems like she was playing with boxing gloves on. It was like George Foreman sat down at the piano and started playing. Yes, Mascara, I would probably feel better listening to Schroeder. And it is Buckleberry. Okay, thank you, Buckleberry. I got to remember that. Thanks, Patricia Marcel. I forgot about Cressida Bonus. Yeah, Cressida, that was her name. Okay. Perez Hilton made it seem like Meghan is going to copy her, but I think he is being... Perez Hilton has an in for the Duchess of Sussex. Without knowing him, it's been alleged, they say, that much like Dan Wooten Tootin, that he doesn't really like women. And I don't mean that doesn't like women. I mean, just it seems like he's one of those people that seem like that he's there to punish and humiliate women. And that's why he was kicked off of TikTok, because Perez Hilton said something hypercritical and really nasty about a teenage girl on TikTok. This old man attacking some young girl on TikTok. I mean, just anyway, that's why he got canceled from TikTok, was because this old gray-headed man with teeth that seemed too big for any human face decided that he would go on the attack on some young girl. And because he was so foolish, he was paid out for his folly, and he got kicked off of TikTok. Let me see. Let me see here. Still get over the Archie ginger curls. Oh, yeah. Archie's curls. Archie's hair looks amazing. I mean, that was like one of the first things I noticed was the hair. That hair is, it has a life of its own. Very, very cool. Let me see if I can find that really fast. Where are you, Archie? The Christmas photo. I'm looking for the Christmas photo. Isn't that amazing? I know it's right here. Okay. Now you see when oh, there we are. Archie's hair. Archie's hair. Check it out. That is really cool. And who said redheads are going to disappear someday? He's like a little miniature Ginger Avenger. Oh, yuck. I hate to even think about it. I hate to even think about it. Oh, my goodness. That's, ugh. There goes dinner. But yeah, you're probably right. Let me see. That makes sense. So much sense. I remember that loser crying to get... Yeah, he was sitting up there crying because he got kicked off of TikTok. Leave them kids alone, old man. You don't see me messing with people's kids. Leave them children cheering. Leave them cheering alone. He's sitting up there going after a teenager like he fancies himself a child. I mean, when he looks in the mirror, it has to be like that scene from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Remember when Betty Davis was singing, "I've written a postcard to Daddy," and then she looked in that mirror and saw that old face looking back? I'm sure that has happened to Perez Hilton time and time again. He looked in the mirror and saw that tattered old face looking back at him, looking like some old beat up, worn out Chucky doll. And and so for that reason, he decided to go after young women on the TikTok. Well, you know what? Those girls fought back. They fought back, and now he can't be on. Did you see him crying? No, he was crying because he got kicked off of TikTok. He was crying because he got kicked off of TikTok. This old man was crying because he got kicked off of TikTok. I don't know how I'm going to feed my family. Well, you should have thought about that before you started messing with those kids. Leave those kids alone. They want to do their little dance and makeup and all that kind of stuff. Leave them kids alone. That face looked like a hatchet job, and he got the nerves. Why did he think that was okay? What made him think that was okay to criticize children on TikTok? I don't even go on TikTok, let alone go on there to try to criticize somebody. So, yeah, that was weird. I couldn't believe that. I mean, I don't know much about him, but I could not believe that he went after kids on TikTok. Who does that? Monster. I mean, that guy is just a monster. I don't know what it is about his face that is so jarring, but he is absolutely a monster. Just like Lurch. I just wanted to throw that in there. Let me get rid of this. I want to get rid of all of these. Okay. I am done with that topic. But one thing's for sure, the Duchess of Sussex is still trending all over the United States. Let me see. Did I talk about this yet? Yes, I did. That can go. Put that back up there. And yeah, I think I covered everything. Oh, I have been on quite the rant tonight. Thank you all, over 800 of you all that joined us today. Please get your comments ready, because after I delete some of these off of here, I will be back to comment further. Let me see. Did we talk about this? Yes, we did. It's very disturbing. I'm so sorry, you guys. I put those up there, but I'm just trying to get rid of some stuff that I don't need so that I can add some other things. And we talked about that. Okay. Okay. And of course, the Daily Fail. I didn't put this up again today, but there it is. Oh, okay. So months later, producers create a magical scene at Westminster Abbey Chapter House for the performance, which was pre-recorded the day before the December 8th service. The new musical duo had rehearsed the song together once in London and then recorded it over a couple of takes. Recorded it over a couple of takes. Want to come again? Just a couple of takes. And so if they said it was a couple of takes, then you know it was cut. Okay, can y'all come back tomorrow? Cut. Okay, we still didn't get it. Come back tomorrow. Cut. It was more than just a couple of takes. Like it takes a week to get that performance, and still it was bad. Okay, oh yeah, I did put this up already. Okay, so since I shared that shade, I can get rid of that and get rid of the other one. All right. Incandescent with rage. The future father of the country. I can't wait. Okay, back to your comments. There's no joy with any of the other royals, just boring. just boring. I held that note for a while. I'm surprised that the British media did not say that the guitarist was bringing the performance down. You know, because he was playing against a real powerhouse, somebody whose talents I liken to Sir Elton John or Liberace or something like that. But yeah, you're right. I'm actually very surprised too because nobody has taken to a piano like that since Nina Simone. Uh, the Phantom of Westminster Abbey. Nobody has done as much justice to music as the Phantom of Westminster Abbey. So yeah, you're right about that. I'm surprised that the panhandler that they brought in there wasn't roundly criticized for for bringing down the entire thing. So let me see. Broke Nose Wife Afro Annie is going. Oh, Afro Annie is going to Australia. Okay, because I just read that Sarah Tongue Ring Tendo, Sarah Tongue Ring, is it Sarah? Zara. Zara Tongue Ring Tendo was supposed to go to Australia, but they didn't want to risk taking the child down there. So, they're not going. But I had read that Zara Tongue Ring Tendo was supposed to go to Australia to help shore up the Commonwealth. But okay, this is one of those. Let me get rid of this thing here. How do I get rid of that? Okay. How do I make that go away? All right. Oh, okay, I got it. I'm gonna block that. I hope I'm. Well, let me do timeout because I don't want to block the wrong person. Okay. Let's see here. William is such a boring, mad. No, he ever smile. It must hurt to be near him. Definitely. And it's like everything goes full circle. It is painful to be near him, and yet it's painful for him to be near her. See, everybody leans when Cambridges come around. They lean away from him, he leans away from her. It's even hard to tell how it even started, but everybody's trying to get away from each other. Thank you for that, Connie. Oh, okay. Let me see. Check out another comment here. I can play the piano to do. Okay. All right. Okay, I did that one already. Let's see here. I can't stop looking at Christmas card. The kids stole the show. Yeah, the kids stole the show, and that's the way it should be. Christmas is for children. I know how. I mean, I know what happened. She needs to rehearse since she couldn't get a ride from Meghan from her mind. You're absolutely right about that because you know whoever did this isn't my work. This is exactly what was probably going on. To the average person, you would see sheets of music, but in her mind, this is what she was looking at because somebody has been renting space in her head. And it's not hard to do that. I mean, you can get it at a bargain because for some reason I tend to believe that there is plenty space available. I got that feeling about her. I don't know. Uh Let me see here. Sorry, I can't take a child, but Megan. Yeah, the Sussexes, I believe Archie was Archie the youngest child ever to accompany a parent on a royal tour? I think Archie was the youngest. Maybe. I think so. Um, but yeah, a lot of people were surprised that Archie was actually going to accompany them there. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who were sorry that Archie went on a tour with them because, they wanted to make sure that that photo op was reserved for the Cambridges. I'm pretty sure of that. So, but anyway, I'm not saying that it's ever going to happen, but if for some reason we have to, prepare the children for a different house closer to the East Coast, I'm ready for that. Like Hillary said about Trump living rent free, Meghan occupies space in all their minds. Absolutely. Living rent free. I think they're mad because the red hair links to Diana. Yeah, because the red hair is that Spencer gene. That's the Spencer gene. And they said all those negative, nasty things about Harry, if you remember, because of his red hair. But it was only because of the Spencer gene. It wasn't anything nefarious. Even, what's her name? Paul Burrell. Even Paul Burrell said that those accusations were false and that the timing was off. And believe me, if he could monetize something like that, she would. Let's see here. The unroyal family know that there is a pandemic, yet they let the racist goons try to bully the Sussexes into bringing their children to the UK, supposedly to see the enabling queen and that other person, Charlie. Yeah, cookies and cream, that is a good point. They keep making these insinuations and assertions that the Sussexes are being neglectful to the queen because she's 95 and Philip just died, as though there's not a whole entire family there, not to mention the help. And of course, before that, she was 94 and Philip was in the hospital. So rather than to say that the queen is stressed out, because she had to open up her bank account to pay for her middle son's legal defense, it's easier to blame the Sussexes. It's convenient because it fits the narrative. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Meghan had to take Archie on the Africa tour because she was breastfeeding. Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. Um, and let's face it, I'm pretty sure that the Sussexes felt it as though that was probably the safest thing to do. Because remember, they had a couple of those nanny cams that and when I say nanny cams, I mean some help that they had to get rid of, that there seemed to be a lack of trust. So whatever the reason, I'd rather have the children with than without. And if not with the Sussexes, then I would rather that the children were with Doria. But anybody that the men in gray suits would hire for them, well, we know how that turned out, right? I mean, how did that work out? Remember when they had a staff that was procured by the palace, and that staff seemed to work against them? So yeah, better to bring your own people in, because look at Montecito. No leaks. Absolutely no leaks from Montecito. And why aren't there any leaks? Because they're not dealing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. That's why. That's why there's no leaks. The Sussexes are living an existence now that would have never been possible because of those people. I'm not saying the ones that's on the screen in particular, but in spite of, they have managed to scratch out a living for themselves in the United States. And if there's any way I can help them become billionaires, I am going to do it. But they have scratched out a living in the United States, and I want them to have as much money as it takes to make sure that they keep those adorable children absolutely safe. That is my goal. I want the children safe, and I want them safe. and I want them away from the reach of those people over there because no leaks, no leaks. They have some very talented people. See, these are cronies. The people that they have working there now, that's some cronies that they got over in Kensington. These are not necessarily the most talented people. These are the people that are allergic to 5 a.m. emails. That's the hill that they want to die on, is the 5 a.m. email. Um, you know, I'm just saying that they're not the kind of people that the Sussexes should have around them. It's a lot of talent in LA, in Los Angeles, in California. There's a lot of talented people out there that will take them in the direction that they want to go. And so for that reason, um, once the Sussexes got together, they could have never have stayed in that position of subservient royal family members. And even though people like to believe that that's just natural because it's 1,000-year institution and that's just the way it's always been, I don't care. Leave the Duchess alone. Let her thrive. Let her grow. Let her TCC son. No apologies. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Got about 15 more minutes, but we're glad you're here. Krista Spears. That took my breath away. When I looked at your name, I was like, Charles Spencer, what does he want? Is he going to lock me out of the family property so that he could let the tabloid press get to me? But then I'm like, no, that's not Charles Spencer. Whew, boy, that made me nervous. Krista Spears, you say, Pierce Morgan praised Kate for being a proper duchess. In other words, don't speak, don't think, and look the other way to infidelity, allegedly. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I can see that. But yeah, you gave me the fright of my life. I was like, I'm afraid of Charles Spencer. Anybody who would do that to his sister, I don't want to be on his wrong side. Charles Spencer is the one that introduced Martin Bazier. That's his name, right? Martin Bazier. Introduced him to Diana. So anytime I see Charles Spencer, I just kind of shrink away and my shoulders go up. Oh, I'm just kidding. Don't worry about it. I'm just kidding. I can't see good. Oh, but thank you for your comment because I think it was very good. But yeah, even though I'm sitting up here talking all this stuff, believe me, I'm about as jumpy as a virgin at a prison rodeo. Anytime I see Charles Spencer or any of those people, I'm just like, who? Hamina, hamina. Oh boy. And one person that I'm not ashamed to say kind of scares me. Princess Anne is kind of scary, isn't she? When Princess Anne walks up on the scene, she always looks like somebody owes somebody some money. It's something about Princess Anne that just seems like, you better have my money. You better have my money. She always has that you better have my money look. I'm telling you, she keeps knuckle dusters in her pocket. And that time when Prince Andrew looked like somebody roughed him up, I think that happened around the time that the Queen, when the Queen locked up in Balmoral Castle with Andrew, I want to say that happened around that time that Princess Anne showed up. So I just imagine Princess Anne, running into Balmoral, hold him, hold him. And that's just, maybe it's my imagination, but that's just the way I see it. I think that if anybody in the family would decide that it's time for him to, you know, pay the price, I think it would be Princess Anne because that's. I mean, how did that happen? How did that happen? This is not a doctored photo. This is a real photo. How did that happen? It was Afro Annie. Afro Annie decided to take a pound of flesh. So, if there's any explanation for it, I can't prove that that's how it happened. I'm just saying I believe that there was an intervention. You know how they say an intervention? I believe that there was an intervention by Afro Annie, and as a result, that happened. Just I'm just saying, one should never get on the wrong side of Anne. That's all I'm saying. Don't get on the wrong side, and you won't end up looking like some uncooked meatloaf. I mean, would you mess with her? Would you mess with her? Because I'm not going near. Now, like I say, if you ever get close to her and she start looking at you like that, just remember, I think this is what she keeps in her hip pocket, just in case somebody starts something. I mean, remember her dog bit somebody and she had to go to court? Look at how she went storming out of that Range Rover. See how her son backed out the way? Everybody got out of her way. Now, obviously, there was a good reason why people, I mean, she's stumping. And look at those boots. Look at those boots. I mean, those boots look like straight out of some kind of World War II war film. Where did she get them boots from? Those are the kind of boots that you wear when you are about to do this. Yes, we're going to end this podcast with some messiness, but those are the kind of boots that you wear when this is about to happen. Amen. I just, you not gonna mess with her mama, and that's all to it. So, she probably went storming over to Balmoral and jumped out the car, much like she did, when she went to court. And as she was, notice you don't see her other hand, right? You don't see her other hand because she was reaching in her pocket looking for this. And once she got this out, that happened. From this to this to this. Now, when they first told her that, he was over at Balmoral, she looked like, what? Where'd you say he is? Now, remember, Princess Anne, this is the person that the kidnappers couldn't even kidnap. Remember, they tried to kidnap her and she said, I'm not going with you. Now, she told one version of the story, but the truth is, this is why she didn't go. It wasn't because the gun jammed and all that kind of stuff. That's the story for the television. Prince Philip gave her those. That's something that he got, during the war, and he gave it to her. And so when she found out that her mama was upset about Andrew, then she looked, she said, what? What'd you say? So then she rushed over there, jumped out the Range Rover. And as she leaped out the car or leapt out the car, her hand slid down into the brass knuckles. And from there, it was on to hold 'em. That's what happened. So if y'all want to believe the other version of the story, so be it. But I'm just telling you what I think. Now let's get to some comments here. What you say? What was that? That's why I wouldn't mess with her. I wouldn't mess with her because she don't look like she's a punk at all. So we'll leave. We'll go back to some comments. Yes, allegedly. Thank you. Allegedly, that's what happened. It's all alleged. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying this is what I think was a possible scenario that led to the black eye. Afro Annie put on them boots and got to stumping, jumped in that Range Rover, and the family tried to stop her. They were like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. And when they said that, she said, what? And then they got out the way. She went on over there, jumped out that Range Rover, and then she slipped that hand into that brass and ran into the Balmoral. And that's why this was after he healed. This ain't even fresh. That's why he was in Balmoral for weeks, because they were trying to, put Humpty Dumpty back together again. So the moral of the story is don't mess with Afro Annie. My version of the story. Don't mess with Afro Annie. Okay, so comments, and we got a couple minutes. So since I have shared my wild ideas with you, surely you have something to say about that. Okay. Deanna, see, your storytelling along with the timing of the photos are hilarious. Yes, and they may possibly be true. Maybe, possibly. Can't say for sure. Anne's dog attacked the queen's favorite corgi, the last of the line, and one of the original dogs the queen's dad gave her as a little girl back in the queen's, breaking the queen's heart. Anne is just evil or misunderstood. I don't know. I like Annie. She just reminds me, I don't know, she just seems like somebody in my family. Just, it's a couple of people in my family I wouldn't mess with either. But yeah, I don't know. But she is a lot of work. Definitely, she's a lot of work. Afro Annie took those brass knuckles and told Andrew. No doubt. No doubt. Andrew hasn't had the easiest of times in that family because, he's so full of himself. But I'm pretty sure it's just that one person. It's always that one person in the family that people say, oh, if I was you, I wouldn't mess with her. Don't mess with her. She crazy. And I'm pretty sure that's, I mean, just think how many times she don't show up for certain events. I'm sure nobody has the courage to call and say, how come you're not here? Remember when Trump was in Windsor Castle and the Queen was like, get over here. And Anne was like, it was just like she didn't care. Trump or no Trump, I don't want to be bothered. So anyway, it has been a whopping 2 hours. Thank you guys for joining the live chat again. Remember, we're going to do this for New Year's Eve, starting, I need to put that up too, starting at 12:30 Eastern time and staying on for 2 hours until it is 10:30, no, I'm sorry, 12, not, what am I saying? 11:30 Eastern time and ending at 12:30 a.m. Central time. So again, thank you all very much. All the best to you. Love you all. Thank you for all of your kind thoughts and generosity and contributions. And thank you so much, moderators, for keeping this a safe space for the squatties. And as usual, thank you for watching Royal Sussex.